Coverage of the $50 million NHRA Powerade Drag Racing Series continues tonight on ESPN2 at 10 p.m. Eastern with finals of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Summer Nationals from Topeka, Kansas. You think it's hot here, it's going to be blistering over there on ESPN2 and ESPN2 HD. We have gotten the word from IndyCar officials. Sam Hornish Jr. will receive a drive-through penalty. Scott, let's explain what is going to happen, and let's first show the reason why he's going to get the penalty once again.
Now we're getting the report that the drive-through penalty is because he is trying to leave his pit box with the fuel buckeye still in the car. Now, as the car stops, it's not completely outside of its box, but you can see the parts right there moving, and that's part of the fuel holes in the fuel buckeye. And so then once that gets removed, then the car then leaves. So I think what the IRL officials are looking at was giving him a drive-through penalty, and what that means is that when the track goes back to being green, Sam Hornish has to come into the pit lane, obey the 60-mile-an-hour pit speed limit, come down and drive right through the pit box all the way out the other side. He does not have to stop in his pit box, continues to go past it, gets back onto the racetrack. Hopefully he'll get back up to speed and get to the tail end of the group and maybe not go a lap down.
And Townsend Bell, we have been told, is going to get the same penalty because we showed you what happened with him a little bit earlier. Basically the same thing, although it did not break the fuel hose. Vince, bring us up to speed on something that you've got down in the pits.
Well, we've got Al Unser Jr. with us, and Al, we saw on the replay it looked like debris off the Jeff Simmons car. Did you see it coming out there on the track?
I saw something right before I hit it coming off turn 2, and you know, it definitely hit the car real hard. And you know, I went down the straightaway and you know, was looking at everything, and everything felt okay. And then I took it easy getting into 3, and then you know, I think it was the right rear went down on me, and it just spun around. But the A1 Team USA Geico Special was running good, and it's a shame.
Thank you, Al. Jack?
Well, Sam Hornish Jr. is on pit road to take fuel and test the way his fuel replacement hose is operating. They use that as a test. It is not the drive-through penalty. Roger Penske lobbied the officials that he had not fully left his pit box. The officials, led by Kevin Blanche down here, informed Roger Penske that it had nothing to do with whether you left your pit box fully or not. The infraction and the drive-through penalty, a result of having started to leave the pit box with the fuel buckeye still inserted in the car, guys. So Hornish will have to be back down here as soon as it goes green.
And the word we're getting is that we could be going green one more lap under caution.
I want to bring up a point. We talked about just with the Al Unser Jr. accident, there are some parts coming off of Simmons' car which caused Al Jr. to crash. Rusty, I just wonder if there was something going on with Simmons' car, and then when he tried to get back up to speed when he got the wave around, if something wasn't happening on his car which caused him to crash.
Well, the confusing part to me is I saw Simmons on the bottom of the racetrack. I saw the debris on the outside of the racetrack, and it looked like there was two totally unrelated things to me, Scott. Now, I'd like to get some clarification because Simmons was all the way at the bottom of the track. We saw the debris clear way out on the outside of the wall early.
All right, that is one separate situation. I want to bring up what's going to happen in the last 39 laps. We're into that stretch where it's sprint time to the finish. Sam Hornish came back in, topped off his fuel. Yes, he's going to have the drive-through penalty, but will he be able, if we get one more or if we keep going with a few more laps of yellow, could he make it without having to stop and steal this?
Well, you're talking about Sam Hornish Jr. Also, Michael Andretti very smartly did the same thing too. Came in for a splash of fuel because they're at the tail end of that lead lap. So remember, 30 laps usually on a tank full. If we get back to green about 162, you know, can you make it run lean and make that happen? We'll have to wait and see.
Jamie, you've got more on Michael Andretti's situation?
Well, guys, I don't think we can talk about it enough. Michael Andretti back in the Indianapolis 500 after 3 years. Now, he has raced here 14 times. He has never won it. He's led the most laps of any driver who's never won here, but he wants this one in a bad way, you guys. He's been working out, training, lost about 20 pounds over the last 6 months. He wants this race, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can close on his son Marco and see if he can make it to the end of the flag, guys.
And we're back to green flag racing at Indianapolis. And there come the two combatants that have to do the drive-through penalties. You saw that at the top right of your screen. Meanwhile, Dan Weldon, Scott Dixon, and Tony Kanaan, 1, 2, 3 into 1.
Oh, Dixon doing some weaving and bopping, making sure Kanaan didn't get that run on him going into one.
And we're getting word that Sam Hornish actually made contact with Townsend Bell on entry into the pit lane. Remember, it's 60 miles an hour. They've got to do this pass-through and somehow get back out up to speed before they get lapped. Oh, and Sam almost got on the throttle too quickly. You saw the back end twitch. Here comes the race leader. Let's go back and show you what happened here. Here's Townsend Bell's on board.
Remember, coming in from about 110 miles an hour. Look at Townsend Bell just trying to get, maybe going a bit too fast. Remember, he's going to be pitted a bit earlier coming into pit lane. Sam Hornish is all the way down the other end, but Townsend Bell just coming in a bit too quick.
No harm, no foul on that one, Scott. I didn't see any damage whatsoever. Now, the way I'm calculating this, there's 38 laps to go. When Hornish came back in and topped off a little bit with that fuel, he should be able to make it. And he did not go a lap down.
And Townsend Bell is stayed in the pits, guys, so maybe something else happened on his car. That would be our 10th car out of the race. Meanwhile, the battle up front is really not a battle yet. It's lockstep racing. Dan Weldon, Dixon, Kanaan. Now, where is Sam Hornish in relationship to the racetrack? There he is into turn 2, and here come the race leaders. So he's still on the lead lap.
Now what Sam has to do is just get going as quickly as possible, catch up to the tail end of that group, and start to get himself through traffic before Dan Weldon catches up to him. And hopefully Dan can get through the traffic near as quick. And on the next yellow, he'll be brought himself back around to the tail end of that lead lap during the pack-up.
So the track is so big here that drive-through penalty that he made, he didn't even go close to going a lap down, Scott. And he's almost a half a track ahead of the leader at the point, so no danger of going down a lap at the moment.
Not at the moment. He is 41.5 seconds behind the race leader, Dan Weldon. And look at the domination of Weldon right now. You saw the number there of all the laps that he has led today. His teammate Scott Dixon right behind him as we're working lap 166. Jack, you have got more on Sam Hornish's fuel.
Rusty Wallace, you are always going to be a racer. That's exactly what you speculated, what Roger Penske has instructed Sam Hornish to do. Dial back the fuel, make some gas, make some ethanol, make some methanol. They do not want to make another pit stop, but it will be a fuel conservation run similar to the one that Danica Patrick used last year to lead and then finish 4th in the Indy 500.
And the one guy that could stand in his way if that strategy plays out, though, is Michael Andretti. Andretti did the same strategy, but he is a lot closer to that lead pack.
It could work for both of them right now. 38 laps to go when Hornish came down and put that extra fuel in the car to top that car off. He can bring that motor back about the 4th position on the fuel if he's got enough lead on Hornish to not go on Weldon to not go a lap down, Scott. So I believe he can make it on fuel.
Marco Andretti has just moved into 4th place, the 19-year-old rookie. Can you believe this? If you were with us for the pre-race, you heard him freely admit, I have never been more nervous in my life. Well, if he was, the nerves went away, and right now he has got himself one bad race car. While he continues, you go on board with Tony Kanaan in 3rd. Andretti Green, look at the day they are having. They were never at the top of the speed charts throughout the month. But Tony is 3rd, Marco 4th, Dario Franchitti in 5th, Michael in 7th. They're all lead laps. Only Brian Herta is in 22nd place. Let's get more on 3rd place, Tony Kanaan. Jerry?
We told you that Tony's ideal all day long was to be patient, not push the car, not try to lead too early. Although it's getting harder and harder for TK to sit behind those 2 target cars. Kim Green has told him, if you can just hang on and get some pretty good fuel mileage, we might be able just to do a splash and go at the end and possibly steal a win. But Tony is really feeling racy, and it's hard for him to hold back. Jamie?
Marco Andretti currently running 4th. The crew gives a thumbs up. They haven't made a change or an adjustment to the car all day. He asked if he should conserve fuel. The team said no. Go full rich. Run with these guys. We'll see what happens, because right now we think everybody has to come back in one more time. Vince?
Well, and that one more pit stop is what's got John Anderson and the Franchitti team sweating it. I just asked John, what lap are you targeting? He said, I'm not sure yet. We're going to have to see how it unfolds with everyone else. But make no mistake, the 27 of Franchitti has definitely got to come in. But they are really happy with the way his race car is handling, and they believe they're going to be in the mix at the finish.
All right, thanks for the update, guys. We have been informed from race officials Scott Dixon has been given a warning for blocking on Tony Kanaan. Do it again, it could cost him dearly, because you can see right there, he's only 0.2 of a second behind Scott Dixon, as his team partner, Dan Weldon. So it's Weldon, Dixon, and Kanaan as we go side by side. And there is Danica Patrick. She's running in 6th, only 4.4 seconds out of the lead. This is going to get good. Motor Speedway, if you have not been with us, it has been one of the most exciting races, as the 90th edition has Dan Weldon in front of Tony Kanaan. But Scott Dixon, we have been told, and he's already received a black flag for blocking. We had told you he had been warned. Here he comes down pit lane. Now this will be a drive-through penalty and an extremely expensive penalty, as here's the reason why.
Now you're allowed to just drive out of the turn and pick your line and choose one line only, but here is obviously weaving and took Tony Kanaan all the way down to the grass area going into the turn. So the IRL officials looked at that. That was not only his first warning, that was probably the second incident, so hence the reason for the penalty.
Better believe Chip Ganassi is going to be ballistic, but it has cost Dixon probably every chance that he has of winning, unless they get a yellow here soon. Jerry?
Well, obviously they are very upset down here in the Scott Dixon pit because of the drive-through penalty. But the good thing that happens is, even though they disagree with the official and disagree with the call, is what happened was Brian Barnhart sent Rocket, one of his key officials, down here to discuss with Mike Hall and explain to him why the penalty. He wanted him to understand that we have it video proof that he did block, so you're going to have to pay the penalty. Mike Hall said, we understand, we don't agree, but we'll abide by the penalty.
Now that is race control on the right side, and that is Brian Barnhart, the president of the Indy Racing League. He makes all those calls. Now, let's set it for you. That was Tony Kanaan. He is in 2nd place, right behind Dan Weldon. Get ready, folks, because guess who is in 3rd place, just 3.5 seconds behind these guys battling up front? The number 26, the 19-year-old Marco Andretti. His teammate Dario Franchitti is 4th. Danica Patrick has moved into the top 5. Jamie, you've got more on Marco?
Marty, all day it's been all skill on Marco Andretti's part, but that was a little bit of luck with Scott Dixon having that drive-through penalty. Marco moves into 3rd right now. If there's no more yellows, they are expected to come in around lap 196 for a splash and go to get that last 6 laps into the checker flag. Vince?
Well, keep an eye on Dario Franchitti as he trails the number 20 car of Ed Carpenter. Franchitti is complaining that Carpenter is blocking and not allowing him by when Franchitti believes he has the faster race car. John Anderson of Dario Franchitti's team just spoke with a race official a moment ago, and now they're having the spotters get together to try to let Carpenter know that Franchitti is behind him and trying to get by. Jerry Punch?
Well, Danica Patrick needs this race to finish under green. She does not get the fuel mileage. She pitted 5 laps earlier than the others. Thus, she will be coming in the next 7 to 8 laps. So she needs to make her final stop and then hope we can stay green so it'll cycle back around and they'll have to pit. And hopefully she can get back in the top 5 or maybe have a shot. Again, Danica making her final stop in the mid-180s.
This time by, we have 20 laps to go. The final laps will bring you without commercial interruption, and it's thanks to Capital One. The shootout is underway. Dan Weldon leads Tony Kanaan. You can see it from the Capital One copter cam. They're that close. Marco Andretti just 4 seconds behind the race lead. Dario Franchitti, Danica Patrick, and Michael Andretti. That rounds out the top 6. There is Sam Hornish. Remember, he is in 8th place right now, and he is still on that lead lap. And we got good news from the pits, or at least Sam got good news from the pits.
Sam got good news from the pits from Roger Penske a little while ago. He said, go full, Rich, hammer down, you can make it. It looks like a lot of these guys are going to have to pit. If it's full green, Sam does not got to pit. He could still win this race.
Let's go to Jackaroot.
That's exactly right, Rusty. But then Roger Penske wanted a little bit of a margin. So for the last 4 laps, he asked Sam to cut it back by just a quarter of a position, down to 3.5. He kept reassuring Sam that he wanted a margin of safety, but also kept telling Sam that he would not have to go back to pit road. But here's the conundrum that they find themselves in. They are just 10 seconds away from being lapped, and they are trying to maintain a speed. And then they have to hope that those splash and goes take longer than just a couple of seconds.
Look out the back of Dan Weldon with Tony Kanaan. They used to be teammates. Now they are rivals. And right now they're duking it out for first place as you look down with our aerial coverage brought to you by our Capital One Copter Cam. All right, let's give you an idea of the perspective from our race leaders to Sam Hornish. He's just crossed the yard of bricks. Where are the leaders? Right there. So Hornish has to be careful. He cannot afford to go a lap down or his dream of winning Indy is over. Look at the laps. The wick's coming back up, fellas. 217. Word from the pits, Danica Patrick will have to pit in the next couple of laps. We're working lap number 183. Here comes Kanaan. Inside, pass for the lead into 3. He makes it stick. So a new race leader, but more traffic in front of him, and it might allow Weldon to get back around him. Whoa! They split it, and it's Weldon. What a piece of driving by both of these guys, and it's now a drag race down the front straightaway, and here comes Kanaan back. 3 different lead changes in a matter of 2 turns.
We talked about Tony Kanaan the whole month. This guy's got a great handling car. He's not been out of this thing all day long, Marty. And Scott,
wiggle by Weldon. Did you see that? Sorry, Rusty. In the middle of the turn, he got completely loose. He collected it, kept it off the wall.
And here comes Danica Patrick on lap number 183. This will be her final stop. Remember, right, this will be a time pit. Jerry?
When the tires are done, we're going to be close. All right, right on the marks for the guys so they can get a quick tire change here. Last stop. Good job. Keep the revs up. Just watch it.
All right, you're listening in. They're going to try to get about 15 gallons of fuel in, trying to get out in less than 8 seconds. And they are away at 8.2. Their final stop is done. Now, can she make it up on the racetrack, guys?
Right now, the last thing that she wants is a yellow flag. Let's go to Jackaroot.
This will be the final stop for Dan Weldon. How long will it take? Just enough fuel to make it in. They'll be able to change the tires in plenty of time. But with 30 gallons of fuel, they don't need that much. When you travel around this racetrack, you only burn one gallon each lap. So they're going to do it in a very short period of time. Will it be enough? Stay tuned.
Tony Kanaan is now your race leader. Marco Andretti has moved up to 2nd spot at the age of 19. Could there be a storybook ending for the 19-year-old rookie? Or will it be Tony Kanaan's tale? He still has to stop, remember.
You talk about things heating up on the racetrack now. It's 130 degrees track temp.
And that was Dan Weldon coming back out, so he is now officially a lap down. But remember, Kanaan still has to pit.
And this is where Tony Kanaan has always shined in past races. When it comes down to 4 or 5 laps before he pits, he always lays down the big numbers, comes into the pit lane very quickly, and he gets out of the pit lane quickly and back up the speed faster than most other people. Now here's Danny Weldon. Remember, he just did that split pack in the other lap. I think he got a little bit high possibly, guys. Got up into the gray, got some marbles on the tires, and that was the reason why he ended up having the problem here just a little bit later.
I'll tell you what, he missed that wall.
Getting the draft right now with the traffic of Kotsky Masura. Now here we go. Kanaan will go to the low side. The red and white car on your top side. Danny Weldon goes on the high side. There's a little bit of debris and marbles up there. Sees up in the gray. So the tires are now starting to get the buildup on them. Now what Danny Weldon's trying to do now is get a draft off of Tony Kanaan and get back around him to get back on the lead lap. Here he's going to give it a try.
And he's going to take the lead or get back on the lead lap. So Kanaan holds on the lead. He says, okay, that's fine. He's got to take one more stop.
And that was a smart move by Tony Kanaan not to force the issue.
Andretti Green, 1, 2, 3, 4. The last time they did that was a year ago at St. Petersburg. It had never been done in series history. Jerry, you've got more on Tony Kanaan.
Guys, remember Tony Kanaan said, today is a day I need to learn patience. I have always been overly aggressive at Indy. If I can be patient, then I can win this race in the final 20 laps. He told that to his crew, to his owners, and most importantly, he said, I now believe it myself. He will pit in 3 laps, 2 or 3. They're talking to him now, and it may be a splash only. Tony believes if he can just get in and out of pit road, he may have a shot to win his first ever Indy 500.
So right now, Tony Kanaan surprising a lot of people.
You can surprise people, so we're not obviously as fast as a lot of guys right now, but I believe that we're doing our work. That's all we can do. I know I can race, I know I can pass people, so we'll see.
Well, we're seeing all right. He is out in front. The guy to keep an eye on, remember here, there's only 2 cars on the lead lap that don't have to stop. That's Michael Andretti and Sam Hornish. Jerry, you've got more.
Guys, back on April 7th, 1988, Tony Kanaan was 13 years old. His dad had been suffering from cancer. Tony went to the hospital and saw his dad for the last time. His dad said, whatever happens to me, I want 2 things for you. I want you to look after your mom and your sister, and please, whatever happens, do not give up on your dream of being a race driver. Tony said, if I'm leading an Indy with 10 laps to go, I'm going to have a hard time seeing because my eyes are going to be full of water thinking about my dad, because without his inspiration, without him being my rock, I wouldn't be here. It would be a very emotional win for Tony Kanaan if he could hang on after this final pit stop and win this race.
Down to the final 10 laps, and now it's time for Marco Andretti. He falls off the pace. He was running second. He has to make his final stop. Yellow is out. So we had contact there on the left side of your screen. We're trying to pick up the car number as who brushed the wall.
Don't forget to flip the clutch. Don't forget to flip the clutch. Okay.
I think it's one of A.J. Foyt's car, Felipe Giafoni.
You can see the suspension damage on the left-hand side of your screen, just behind the wing itself. He clipped the wall. That car, once it gets in the pit lane, will be finished for the day.
All right, the one person who didn't want to see this was Danica Patrick. Remember, she stopped first of all the lead car laps. Let's go back and take another look at this.
Now he's already high. He's out of the black groove and up into the gray and ends up catching the wall. And Tony Kanaan just was able to slide underneath him. See, he's already up on the marbles. That's all the rubber bits off the tires. This is a good break for Tony Kanaan now. He's going to have an opportunity to come in for the refueling and tires.
All right, we mentioned the fact this does not help Danica Patrick because she wanted it to stay green. Who does it help? You've got to be looking towards Michael Andretti and Sam Hornish because they don't have to stop and they're going to be able to cycle through.
And Weldon, because he had to actually pass Kanaan to get back onto the lead lap, so he gets to come around and be on the tail end lead lap, and we'll have to see what happens in the pit stops here to see where everything shakes out and how quick they can get Tony Kanaan in and out of the pit box.
So we are down to 9 laps to go. It is our 5th caution of the day. Let's talk about those leading late in the race. Hate to bring this one up for you, Scott, who failed to win. Scott, you had it in 95. Davy Jones, you had it again in 97. Robbie Gordon and Danica Patrick just last year.
That's a list I could do without being on.
I knew it was going to hurt, but there's a lot of guys that never finished as good as second either, partner.
So it looks like Sam Hornish can stay out. He can make it on fuel, but when these other guys pit, Scott, I think with the fresh tires, it's going to eat them right up.
And tires have been a big issue here because we talked about the heat that the track has right now. As you can see, Tony Kanaan so close behind the pace car, just trying to serve himself well and try to save a little bit of fuel. But I think the thing that has to happen now is that you have to regain your composure because you are getting close to having an opportunity to win the Indianapolis 500.
So while they continue under yellow, it's time for our Firestone Tire Talk. Let's go to Jack Arute.
All month long, people were concerned as what the condition of the tires would be for a normal fuel run for 30 laps. Remember, they get 30 gallons, and it takes 1 lap per gallon. In the first series of pit stops, all of the drivers said that their right rear Firestone Firehawk was right down just before the cord. And as the pits open now, when they come in for this pit stop, if they elect to take tires, there have been no tire problems since the halfway mark of the race. Why? Because the diamond grinding on this racetrack creates miniature grooves. And as you have all this field of 33 going around at 200 miles an hour, little bits of rubber fill those grooves up. And finally, at this point in time in an Indy 500, you've got rubber on the road and rubber on the track.
And remember, Tony Kanaan has to pit, and here he comes, guys. His final stop. Who else will peel off as we watch? There's a total of 4 cars making their way down towards pit lane. Both Kanaan and Franchitti, first and second, pull in. Guess who is going to inherit the race lead? Ladies and gentlemen, it'll be Michael Andretti. Vince?
Dario Franchitti took just 4 gallons of fuel, quickly timed, no tires. He's going to keep on the rubber he's got. Jerry?
And Tony Kanaan needs 5 gallons. He's down and away, no tires. And Franchitti's going to try to race Kanaan down pit road, and Franchitti will beat his teammate Tony Kanaan off of pit road here under this yellow flag stop.
So, how much are the worn tires? Remember, they had gone over 48 laps since the last time they had changed tires.
That's what puts Danica Patrick, Sam Hornish back in the ballgame. These other guys didn't change tires. They just put fuel in their cars, so they don't have... Everybody's about the same grip level at the moment right now, Scott.
So we are under yellow, our 5th of the day, and the race leader is going to be Michael Andretti when everything gets sorted back out. How storybook would this ending be? 14 times Michael has tried to win the Indianapolis 500. 14 times he has come up short.
If Michael Andretti won this race, this could possibly be the biggest story that I've heard in a long time. He's back. He wants to race with his son. His son is driving his best race of his life. Michael's been keeping it wonderful all day long. The car's been driving great. He hasn't been in a hunt all day long, but strategy has worked out great for Michael.
Jamie, you've got more on Michael?
Well, Rusty, you're right. Race strategist Barry Green just talked to him about Michael Andretti. He said, I think we have the best chance at taking home this victory. He said they don't need to come in anymore. They said they don't know what Hornish's situation is, but they think they have the best chance to take it to the end and get Michael his first victory.
You aren't going to believe this also, because as it all sorts out through the pit stops, remember at the beginning of our broadcast, if you were not with us, we'll remind you, Mario Andretti said my perfect realization would be for Michael to win the 500 and Marco to finish second.
I wonder, out of all 3 of those right now, who was the most nervous? Mario for watching what has to happen, or sometimes, you know, Rusty, when you're sitting in the seat, sometimes it's easier to be driving the car because you know what's happening, as we watch Michael Andretti try to save fuel by getting very close to the pace car.
What a memory this would be if Mario turns out to be right.
I believe I can win it. And that's one thing. I made a promise to myself that I would not be in a race if I didn't think I could win it. That's why I was happy to retire the way I did, because I knew I could still win. And I feel especially after driving again and all that, I know I can win it. If I'm given the right opportunity with the right team, with the right car, I know I can win it, and there's no question.
His dad said in our pre-race, the perfect scenario, father to son to grandson. Look at the smiles there, and look at Mario. No, it's too soon. You can't get that excited. They know how it can turn from heart thump to heartbreak. Jamie?
Well, you guys called it. Mario Andretti said perfect case scenario, Michael would win it, Marco would be second. Mario, do you think they're going to hang on to the end?
Well, I'll let you know in a couple of laps.
Who's more nervous right now, Michael, yourself, or Marco?
Well, we'll see. I'm rooting for both.
He's rooting for both, but I think he's pretty nervous right now. I can feel his heart beating next to me, guys.
I think everybody can. I mean, this car that Michael was in, he was never better than mid-pack. I mean, you've got to remember, you know, where he started here as we are getting ready to go back to green flag racing shortly here at Indianapolis. Michael started 13th. And there it is, the one graphic he would like to change. It's like when Phil Mickelson was going for his first Masters. You know, the best player never to win the major.
Mario's just saying, be quiet, don't say nothing. Let's just get this thing done. I don't want anything to get jinxed at the moment right now.
Can Michael Andretti pull it off at the age of 43? Will he win his first Indy? The green flag is out, and this time by there will be 4 laps remaining at Indianapolis. And look at the traffic behind him. That's Marco, 4 cars back. That's lap vehicles in between.
Is that Herta in his second position I've seen right now?
I don't think so.
It's Brian Herta in the second position now.
Yes, it is.
It's a team car. He can help Michael win this race if he can just hold that line. It's Marco in the second place. He immediately gets out of the way. Marco's going by on the outside. Brian Herta's going to tuck right back in. Then it's Hornish.
And the 4th car in that freight train is Sam Hornish.
The crowd is going nuts. They're jumping out. I've never seen the people this excited my entire life. I wish the fans could look up and see what I'm seeing.
Now, how dirty will Michael be to hold back his son?
Marco's going to take a look on the outside heading into 1. We haven't seen that since 1991.
Oh, my gosh. Marco Andretti, 19-year-old sensation. I've never seen a driver at this age as good as this kid is right now. He's amazing. The talent is on. Here comes Hornish on the inside. 3 to go.
Look at Michael. He was trying to hold back Hornish so he would not have a chance of getting anywhere close to Marco.
It looks like Michael's hopes for victory are dashed again. This time by, there will be 2 laps to go. The Indianapolis 500 has become the Indianapolis 5. Will it be Marco Andretti, or will it be Sam Hornish Jr.? Hornish coming after him. The margin at the stripe, half a second. The look of Mario Andretti and the captain tells it all. Here comes Hornish. He's closing on Marco Andretti.
Oh, this does not look good. Oh,
Sam should have waited. He should have waited until the front stretch.
It may cost him dearly because this time by, it will be 1 lap to go. Just listen to the crowd as they come down the front stretch.
White flag. I believe Marco can do this. I really think he's got it. He's got to hold the line. Low lane, Marty Scott. This kid, I believe, is going to win this race. The most exciting Daytona 5. I'm sorry, the most exciting Indy 500 ever.
Down the backstretch for the final time. His father has not won it in 15 tries. Through 3. Hornish closing 1 more time. Coming out of 4. Stretch. It's a drag race. Marco Andretti, Hornish, who's going to win at the stripe? It's Hornish.
Oh, Hornish
wins by 6/100ths of a second. The closest finish, second closest in Indy history.
All right. You're a hell of a man, guy. Whoa. You're the man. Yeah, that's awesome, Sam.
If you are Marco Andretti, though, you cannot be disappointed.
Look at the agony, the ecstasy. Let's go back, take another look at this great finish. I didn't think Sam could do it after losing that first attempt, that first run.
I absolutely thought that he blew it because he didn't get that run on him before and make it successful. But look at this. It almost made me myself back in 1992 when I chased Al Jr., except Sam got the job done.
Scott, Roger Penske runs Sam Hornish that race. He won him that race by bringing him down pit road and topping him off the field and barely making it on field mileage.
The second closest finish in the history of this 90-year event. Sam Hornish, who had never completed the 500 miles in his prior attempts here, in his 7th try, not only does he complete them, he wins the Indianapolis 500.
I don't think I've ever been this excited in my entire life. I can't believe what I just witnessed.
It's incredible. That's what makes this the greatest spectacle in racing.
I'm happy Hornish won. I was pulling for that kid so bad, and I'm not supposed to say that.
You know something, and we were at that Marlboro dinner the other night, and I sat beside his wife, Crystal, and she said he is so nervous for this event. He almost gets himself sick throughout the whole month of May. But here we go, coming off of 4. They were probably flat on it all the way around. He gets that draft off to Marco. Give Marco credit for not doing a huge block on him. And Sam goes through with the win.
37 years since an Andretti won at Indianapolis. This is the closest they have come. Does this place owe that family one? You be the judge. But Sam Hornish, who 4 times had finished 23rd or worse, gets his first Indianapolis 500 win.
If you've never heard of Marco Andretti, the world knows him right now.
Last year it was Danica Mania. This year, it's now Marco Mania.
This kid's got nothing to hold his head down by. That's one of the most fantastic drives I've ever seen in my life. And Roger Penske, one of the smartest guys in the world. I can't believe he made this wonderful fuel mileage call for Hornish.
There is the margin of victory as we take a look across the track. 6/100ths of a second, the second closest in the history of the event. For Roger Penske, a record-setting 14th Indianapolis 500 victory. He has now done it with 10 different drivers. Jamie?
Mario Andretti, the first to greet his grandson. What are your emotions right now, Mario?
Oh, I'm just so proud. I mean, just so proud and relieved that it's all over. I think this race lasted 3 days. But it was so awesome to watch these guys. Just they were up there in the thick of things right from the beginning, and so proud of them.
Mario, what is it about the Andretti family? He's a 3rd generation, almost won in his first attempt. What is it about you guys?
We just love to drive. We love race cars. That's all it is. We're born to do that, I think.
Congratulations. We're going to make our way on over to Marco Andretti. His mom, Sandy, here, all emotional. Marco Andretti, you told me Danica Patrick had some big shoes to fill after last year. You almost won this thing. What is going through your mind right now?
What you just said, I almost won this thing, you know? Man, I don't want to wait till next year. I wish it was today, but I think I could have been really bad at blocking, but that might have crashed us both. But you know, it happened.
How did this day compare to what you have been building up in your mind your entire life?
I knew I had a shot at it. I really did. I don't like to go into a race thinking I don't have a shot at it, but you know, and I thought I won it on the last lap. I really don't know where that speed came from, but I guess they were saving it.
Take us through turn 4 when Sam Hornish was gaining on you. What was going through your mind at that time?
I knew this is what I thought. If I just blocked him, you know, defended my line once, that I had it. But you know, the distance he was back, I think any other car would have won the race. I don't know where that came from, but you know, it's a bummer. I got to take advantage of every shot out here. I really do, because second's nothing.
Jack Arute, forget the rookie. A star has been born.
And back when Sam Hornish Jr. was just 4 years old, he attended his first Indianapolis 500. He watched a Penske driver named Danny Sullivan spin and beat an Andretti. And now he has beaten that grandson to score his first Indy 500 victory, something that he said he would give up all of his championships, all of his pole positions, for an opportunity to be where he is today. Sam Hornish Jr. is an Indianapolis 500 champion. And Sam, before we do the interview, the most traditional drink of all.
Oh, I love it. Nothing better right now.
Sam, you waited so long. Can you describe the emotions that you must be feeling at this point?
It's been a long month, and you know, not everything went our way as we saw today, but we stuck together as a team. We had a good plan, and we were fast when we needed it. And you know, I got to thank God for giving me a lot of talent, and not so much the fact of what I can do driving, but the fact that I didn't want to give up and I wanted to keep coming back. And that he also put me with such a great team and gave me such a great parents and a great wife that support me very much.
Let's talk for a moment coming off of turn number 4. You put it all on the line. You had the youngster, 19 years old. You know what that's like. And you got it. When did you know you had it?
I didn't. I thought that it was over when I didn't get by him going down into 3 there, but we dug down, put her back in gear, and took off. And, you know, I got to say, you know, for his first time out there to go out and finish second, he had a heck of a ride. And, you know, no matter what happens, he should be really proud with that.
There's milk in your eyes, and there are tears in your eyes. I know you lost your grandmother just before qualifications. Your family has believed in you for so very long. You're an Indy 500 champion. How does it feel?
It's a great feeling. I wouldn't trade it for anything else. I've had a lot of friends, and family passed away over the last couple of years, and I think they're all rooting me on today, so I was really happy with that. And just got to thank this team, Marble Team Penske. They did a heck of a job, and may not always go just the way you want it to, but it was much sweeter this way.
I think there's someone here that wants to give you a big kiss. Your mom, your wife, Crystal, your dad who believed in you and started you out in karting. Pop, what do you say to your son that's now an Indy 500 champion?
Congratulations.
Well, it's a Buckeye Day of celebration here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Born and raised in Defiance, Ohio, he is now the 2006 Indianapolis 500 champion and now an Indy 500 immortal. Let's go back to the tower.
Over 700 have tried to win. Only 65 have their face on the Borg-Warner Trophy. Sam Hornish is now one of that elite crowd. We'll talk to Michael Andretti when we come back.
Realizes his dream. His best finish before this at Indianapolis was 14th back in 2001. He had the fastest car all month long, and then he comes back in dramatic fashion. You will be watching that highlight of that almost disastrous pit stop, which cost him precious time. Yet Sam Hornish from Defiance, Ohio, was able to come back, and look who finished second and third. The two Andrettis. 19 Americans start this race. 3 of them go 1, 2, 3. Michael is standing by with Vince. Let's go down.
Well, Michael, you were in the lead with just a few laps to go. What was going through your mind as you led the Indianapolis 500, chasing the race that has eluded you?
I thought, oh, maybe, you know, and then I just knew we didn't have enough laps under the caution. If we would have just had 2 more, I think we might have been good enough, had enough to get it done. But and then Marco had a run on me. I tried not to mess him up because I knew he was quicker than me, and I just wish I could have held off Hornish 1 more lap. If I could have, he probably would have won. I thought he won it anyway, and he drove a hell of a race. I mean, all day long we were together, and I just was so impressed with him.
Tell me about the battle there, as short as it was, with Marco, and what kind of thoughts that were going through your mind from a strategy and a competition standpoint.
Well, I had to be very careful, you know. I knew I didn't have enough speed, so I wanted to not mess him up. But yet I still wanted to protect my line just in case. But he hadn't run on me, so as soon as I went to the inside, he went to the outside. I just gave him the line and then just tried to hold off the other guys. But you know, that's the way it goes. Jim Beam Vonage guys almost pulled it off with great pit strategy, that's for sure. But you know, we just came up a little short.
How much fun did you have today?
I had a lot of fun. I really did. I mean, the car wasn't where we wanted it to be, but it wasn't bad. And, you know, our strategy was almost perfect, but not quite.
You indicated to me earlier today that this was it. Is this the last time you'll race at the Indianapolis 500?
I'll evaluate. I want to wait and see. I mean, getting this close and not getting it, you know, it's like, ugh, you know, so I don't know. We'll think about it in a few months, and then we'll let you know.
Jamie?
Danica Patrick finishes 8th today. That's 2 top 10 finishes and 2 starts. Danica, how did today compare to 1 year ago?
Well, my car wasn't as fast. We didn't really, I guess, have a winning car, but it doesn't mean you can't win at Indy. So we probably had more like an 8th place car. I'm mad because we were 5th before that last yellow came out. As soon as I came out of the pits, yellow flag came out, and you know, we had to pit early. We had to pit early every stint with the tires because I was getting some shredding on the right rear and wasn't able to stay on the track and go fast. I mean, I might have been able to stay on the track an extra couple of laps, but running like 208 mile-an-hour laps is not going to get you very far. So we decided to pit, and it caught us out at the end, and, you know, as I just said, I must have used up most of my luck last year.
Danica, Marco said earlier in the week, you had some big shoes to fill as a rookie coming in here. He almost just won this thing. What do you think about Marco?
He's a good driver. He brought the car home, which is #1 important on a long race like this. I was running with him for a while. He was fast. I mean, I had to work hard to keep him behind me, probably too hard. And he did a great job. I think that it just shows that the Andretti name's carrying on then.
Danica Patrick finishes 8th today, guys.
All right, Jamie, a year ago we witnessed Danica Mania, and today we saw the birth of Marco Mania. We'll be back with more about this dramatic Indianapolis 500 after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
The parade lap around this 2.5-mile storied facility. Sam Hornish finally getting his first Indy 500 win. All day long it looked like it would be Target Chip Ganassi Racing. They led the most laps, but they come up short. Vince?
Well, Chip Ganassi is just talking about the refreshing drink, but it was certainly not the kind of day that made you happy. Let's first talk about the Dixon black flag and the blocking call. What was your impression?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's Mike's car. He was running that, but I mean, from what I understood, I mean, they were, you know, Scott was certainly aware of what was going on and that Brian wanted him to be straight. And I think Brian had some earlier things in the race that were getting him agitated, and he seemed to be a little bit, pull the trigger a little quick on that. I thought the kind of way that Kanan was driving behind us, I thought was a little, questionable call.
How about some of the other issues that caught your attention today?
Well, I mean, you know, and then Dan had a tire go down. He said, "I got a tire going down," and sure enough, excuse me, he did. And that about took him out of the equation there. So.
And I know you had asked about the penalty on Hornish, and he did get a drive-through. Was that to your understanding?
Yeah, no, I thought I wanted to know what the penalty was for that. You know, for you know, leaving equipment attached to your car and running over your guys. I just want to clarify what the penalty was for that.
Thank you, Chip. Jack?
Well, he was the chairman of the Super Bowl, the committee in Detroit, and he got 14 of these Indy 500 victories today, Roger. It was some calm, cool, collected operators on pit road, coupled with a pretty good driver that gave you number 14.
Well, I'll tell you, Sam came on our team, and I saw why he did the way he drove those last 4 laps. I could tell you, we sure let him down there in the middle. He had a real good car when we had that pit stop situation. The only thing we could do was go on fuel, so we ran it way down, knowing that we could get to the end and see what happened. And they had the yellow, it gave us a break, and you saw when the green flag dropped, he was the driver.
Roger, you've driven so long before you became a car owner. How impressed are you when you have a driver as disciplined as a Sam Hornish?
Well, you could see him all day early on. He was taking his time. He said he wanted to see the finish. Now, we didn't help him much, but at the end, he earned his pay. He did a great job, the team, and I think I just take my hat off to our sponsors and obviously LEO and everybody else, and thank Tony George for this speedway, and tell you, Chip's team, they deserved it today. Obviously, Michael, and to see Mario up there, or Michael up there, wow, he and Marco. So what can I say? All the boys were in the league today. We got lucky.
Well, let's talk about that luck a little bit. What precipitated that miscue on pit road? Tell me about that pit stop.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm the one that tells him to go, and it looked like maybe we didn't get the probe out, so I've got to take the responsibility for that. But I said, Sam, stay cool. We didn't have a fire. I was surprised they made us come in because, we stayed in our pit box, but you can't argue with the officials. But again, then we went to another strategy, and that was to run as lean as we could. We had to make about 3.5. We did that 3.4, 3.5, and it gave it to us at the end, and then we got the break when it was time to go.
Guys, this is why experience will win you Indianapolis 500s.
Well, there's also one other. It is speed. That last lap, 2:19 to 2:14.